What's a time you knew a goodbye would last forever? I was 23 when my best friend Nola told me she was moving to Portland for a tech job. We'd been inseparable since second grade, the kind of friends who finished each other's sentences and had matching everything. She knew how I took my coffee. I knew which songs made her cry. We'd planned our lives together, imagining apartments in the same building and kids who'd grow up as close as we were. When she got the offer, I helped her pack. I drove her to apartment viewings over FaceTime. I even threw her a going-away party at my tiny apartment, making too many cupcakes and crying in the bathroom when no one was looking. "I'll visit constantly," she promised, hugging me tight in my doorway. "We'll text every day, nothing's going to change." For the first month, we kept that promise. Daily texts turned into weekly calls. Weekly calls became monthly check-ins. I understood. She had a new job, new friends, a whole new life. I stayed in our hometown, working at the same dental office, living with my parents to save money. My life looked exactly the same. Hers was expanding in ways I couldn't even imagine. The breaking point came during her first visit home, 8 months later. She suggested we grab coffee at our old spot, the diner where we'd spent countless hours studying and gossiping. The same booth where she'd told me about her first kiss, where I'd cried about my dad losing his job, where we'd made pacts and promises and plans. I showed up early, nervous for some reason. When she walked in, she looked different. Not just her haircut or clothes, but the way she carried herself, confident, polished, like someone who'd outgrown this place. We ordered our usual drinks, but the conversation felt stiff. She talked about her company's projects, using acronyms I didn't understand. She mentioned coworkers with unusual names like Thorn and Caspian. She described restaurants and concerts and weekend trips to the coast. I talked about my nephew's birthday party and how they finally fixed the pothole on Maple Street. "That's great," she'd say, but her eyes would glaze over. An hour in, she checked her phone for the third time. "Sorry, my boyfriend's been texting. We're supposed to meet his parents tonight." Boyfriend. She hadn't mentioned a boyfriend in our last 3 calls. "How long have you been seeing him?" I asked, trying to keep my voice neutral. 4 months? Maybe 5? She waved her hand dismissively. It's been a whirlwind. 5 months and she hadn't told me. 5 months of daily life I knew nothing about. I realized then that our friendship had become performative. We were going through the motions of staying close while actually being strangers. When the check came, we both reached for it. "I got it," she insisted. "I'm making good money now." It wasn't a kind gesture. It was a reminder of the distance between us. We walked to our cars in the parking lot. She hugged me, and it felt mechanical. "We should do this more often," she said. "I miss this." But she didn't miss it, and we both knew it. I watched her drive away in her new hybrid, heading to her parents' house for a quick dinner before flying back to her real life. I sat in my decade-old sedan, hands on the steering wheel, crying for the second time in 8 months. That's when I decided I wasn't going to chase this anymore. No more enthusiastic texts that got one-word responses. No more pretending our friendship still existed. Some goodbyes happen slowly, one unanswered text at a time, until you realize you've already said your last real conversation and didn't even know it. 3 weeks later, my mom handed me an envelope that had arrived in the mail. Inside was a wedding invitation. Nola and her boyfriend were getting married in Portland in 6 weeks. I was invited as a general guest, no +1, seated at table 14 with people I'd never met. Her bridesmaids were her new Portland friends. Women I'd never heard of were standing beside her on the most important day of her life. I threw the invitation away. I didn't RSVP. 2 months after her wedding, I got a text. "Hey, I know things have been weird. Can we talk?" I stared at those words for 3 days. Finally, I agreed to call her. She answered on the first ring. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice shaking. "And after I do, you're going to understand why I really left." I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below.